What's up, guys? It's your boy King David, and I'm back at it with another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about semen retention, the journey, the process, what you go through, why you should be doing it, and why you shouldn't be doing it, guys. So, what I've noticed is certain amount of days into it, and it changes the further you go. So a certain amount of days you'll start to get messages from the Most High, from God, from the divine source. You get messages, and then you also get telepathic abilities. You get these abilities to speak to people. You feel other people's energy. You feel other people's intentions and stuff. And it hits you. It hits you harder the longer you go. I've noticed it's more subtle at times than others. And it always happens around the beginning of the journey. And like say, for instance, say if you just started SR, you're gonna get a lot of visions. You're gonna get a lot of different effects from people, and it's hard to decipher at first where it's coming from. You can feel it to some degree, but you can't really decipher it yet. The longer you go on the journey, you know where it's coming from. You know who it's coming from. You know what their intentions are. You know what they want from you, and you can kind of communicate with them without having to pick up a phone or nothing like that. It's like a lower level communication or higher level communication, depending. Well, it's like the real communication. Like our phones is kind of like a lower level communication, and then the higher level communication would be telepathically, right, guys? Like we have that ability to do that. I think every person has the ability to do this. That's why you're able to communicate with people who aren't retaining. It all happens for a reason. There's nothing that happens by coincidence. So you'll have these moments where like just recently, I would say about like an hour ago, I was in communication with some women, and they wanted me really bad, and I could feel their energies. I can feel what they wanted. I can feel. I could actually have a full blown conversation with these women, and it's different from like. It's different from not retaining, guys. Like when you're not retaining, you don't have anything like that happening. It doesn't cross your mind. Like you're not in a communication with somebody via telepathically. So when you start to retain, I've noticed you'll also get dreams. You'll get dreams of women, wet dreams, possibly even. Usually, you don't have very many dreams of men. You know what I mean? But occasionally, you may, not like in a sexual way or nothing like that. You might have a dream of your father or something like that, or a dream of someone, right? I like to think of it almost as in Star Wars, right? When Anakin was speaking with Yoda, and he was saying, "I have dreams of Padme, and I'm trying to save her," and not to that extent. Like that's not the kind of dreams that I'm having. I'm just saying that you can see deeper into the future in ways when you dream, because you're in the astral plane, and you can see things before they happen, guys. So the way you do this, guys, and the way you become, more aware and you become more intuitive and things like that, guys, is you have to, one, you have to retain, and two, you have to let go of addictions. You have to have a clean lifestyle. That fogs up everything. Like if you're smoking weed or you're drinking alcohol, it basically fogs up the connection to the Most High. And you don't want to fog it up, because if you fog it, then you're not going to get a clear message that he's trying to portray through you. The idea is to get clear messages and know your path. So what I've noticed is when the further you're on your journey, you get more downloads, you get more light codes. Like I talk about light codes and downloads and stuff like that. And what it's doing is it's unlocking sections of your body and your mind that were dormant. They didn't have, you didn't have the key yet. And the only way to obtain that key is through a spiritual practice and semen retention, guys. When you're retaining, I've noticed that it's subtle. There'll be like a moment, like how can I explain it? There'll be a moment where you're just walking, right? You're just walking, you're doing your normal thing, or you're at work or something like that, or you're on the computer, or you're playing a video game or something like that, or watching a movie, and just a moment in time where you have like an epiphany almost, but not exactly. Like you're reflecting, like you go into your memories. Like you go into your memories and you're like replaying it. It's like a videotape. And you're like replaying some of the things that you did before in the past. And you're able to have a deeper insight on what had happened that day. And that insight is the key to what is to come. So Most High, he decides everything. Like everything happens by coincidence. So, or not by coincidence. It all happens for a reason. So there's a reason why you got that key. There's a reason why you got that message. There's a reason why you're watching that tape in your mind. Like you'll be doing, doesn't matter what you're doing, guys. Like you could be anywhere, right? You're just walking, cool, you're walking, you're doing your thing, blah, 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 blah. You're thinking, and then all of a sudden, it's almost like you're still doing what you're doing. So if you're walking home or you're walking to the park or something like that, and then there's just like a moment where you're like daydreaming in a way, right? You're daydreaming, but you're having like a thought of your past. It's not like a daydream, full on daydream, like where you're just dreaming about something that is totally like fantasy. Usually you have daydreams when you're young, but you can have daydreams when you're on retention too. Like it's more likely to have daydreams when you're retaining. You'll just be thinking, you'll be in a deep thought. And but this is more set on memories, right? So you're doing your thing, you sit down or wherever you're at, or you're just still walking, and just like all of a sudden it's just like a play, it's like a movie, and it just goes, and you're like, whoa. And you're not, at first you're not as conscious of what you're looking at. Like you realize what it is, but you're not fully aware until you're like, wait a minute, I remember that day, and I remember that past moment, I remember that person, or I remember that instant of something that had happened. And when you look at the play, or you look at the movie, you have a different outlook on what really happened, and you're able to see it a lot clearer. It's like the picture is clear Before, when you were younger, it was like foggy still. Like it might be clear because like it just recently happened when you were younger, and you're like, okay, I remember that because I just remember it, right? You know, it's only been a day or two since that happened, so you can remember it very well. But sometimes things happen, and you don't remember them very well, right? You're just like, whoa, that happened, but I don't remember it happening, right? But later in life, if you're retaining, that same memory will come back, and you remember it. You really remember it, how it really went down. And when you're watching this tape, try to pay attention. Try to be as conscious as you can in these moments, because you'll be able to see a glimpse of your life that had happened, that you were trying, or that you were supposed to learn something from it, but you're only supposed to learn from it in the present moment. So you're going through this tape, it plays out, and then there's like a moment where it kind of ends, and you snap back to reality, and then you're in your present moment, and you're like, oh wow, that's different, you know. And then you have like an epiphany. You think of things totally different. You're like, whoa, that happened. I remember how it happened, and I remember it very clear how it happened. And now I have a light code. That's like basically a light code, right? Or a download, right? Because you took the memory, pulled out the part that was necessary by the Most High. He gives you these abilities. And now you have a key, and you go to a section of your body, and you unlock that section. And that allows you to see things in a different light, which changes your whole perspective of the world. It doesn't just change you, it changes the perspective of the world. It changes you too, but it changes your thought process on what you're supposed to do. It gives you like basically like a new route. Like there's a new path that you'll take in life. And all of a sudden you will do different. You'll do something different in your life. For instance, it might be as simple as going down a different path on a trail. It might be as simple as walking a bit further than you normally do, or walking to a different store, or maybe you're, thinking about going to another store or something like that. It's like a different thought that just jumps into your mind, and you're like, I should go there for some reason. And that's kind of like a route that you're going to take in the future, or possibly will take. I don't know that far ahead, you know what I mean? That's what the Most High ordains for you. But it like shows you a path that you will take in the future, right? And or maybe a decision that you'll have to make in the future. But you don't get any of this if you're releasing, guys. I've noticed when you're releasing, you're dull. You're not, like you still get downloads and light codes, but you just brush them off because you're not really you're not tapped in yet. You're not really connected to the Most High quite. Like you are, but you're not, right? Like you're still gonna get light codes, but you're not all the way connected yet, right? So the longer you retain, the more of these epiphanies, the more of these ideas, the more of these paths get unlocked. And then you have to organically let this happen. Like you have to let the Most High work through you and allow him to push you in the right direction. Push you is the best way I can explain it. He's pushing you at all moments, but it's like he's going to push you where you need to be going, right? And it may sound weird or it may sound crazy, but it's definitely true. It's like, why else would you have some of these thoughts, right? Why else would you be able to telepathically connect with people and have these conversations with people that you didn't before? You know, it gets deep. It's surreal, guys. It's very surreal. It's very calculated, all for a reason. And the more you retain, the longer you go, it just gets deeper and stronger. And you have to realize relapses, right, guys? I touch on relapses somewhat, but a lot of the channels, they don't say relapses are good, because they're not good, but everybody's path is different, and a relapse is part of your path in itself. You wouldn't know the difference between when you are retaining and when you're not if there wasn't relapses, right, guys? So there's lessons to be learned. There's a reason why you release a certain amount of times before you're able to be awakened. Because when you're awakened, guys, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't even really like to say awakened, really, because like it should be just a normal thing for us to be retaining. When you're more aware, I should say, aware of things, you don't want to do the stuff you used to do. That's the hardest part about being awakened, right? Is like, you'll be watching a movie when you release and you watch a movie. Okay, you watch the movie, great, cool. You turn off the movie, you go to sleep or whatever. Maybe you ate some popcorn, or you're doing something, or that's cool. That's cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But watch a movie when you're 90 days in. You know it's for a reason, and when you're watching that movie, you see things that you would have never seen before, guys. And it sounds strange, but it's like you start to really analyze everything, and you get deeper into the movie than you would have before. It almost gets too much, so where you have to turn it off. You're like, why am I watching this movie? You know? And even turning it off is a part of the plan in itself, of God's picture that he wants you to see. So you're watching this movie and you're like, I've seen it before. I like the movie. And when you're dull and when you're releasing, you're watching the movie, but you could watch it through, but you don't remember really nothing of the movie, right? You don't remember the movie that well. Like, you might remember a scene or two or something climatic. You're like, oh, well, I remember this part or that part. But then when you rewatch the movie and you're 90 days in, or 100 days into your streak, or however far you are, because I don't really look at the days, guys. Like, forget about the days. Like, it's not about the days. It's about the journey. And it's not even about the journey or the destination, guys. It's really just about, connecting with God and the Most High. So if you're connected with Him, I mean, you have to retain, but it's like, if you're connected, you're gonna see the movie much different than before. It's not gonna be the same movie. Like, it will, but it won't. Like, you'll see things and you'll be like, that doesn't make as much sense when you're not retaining as when you are. So that's just something I want to touch on, guys, because you get these downloads, you get these light codes through the things that you're doing, and you have to be careful because, like, the telepathicness, right? When you're talking to people telepathically, you have to understand that most people are drained. Most people aren't retaining. Most people aren't conserving their life force energy. So when you're having a communication with someone, it's like a lot of the times it's lower level things that they desire, they want from you. They want you for money. They want you for intimate relationship, or they want you because someone else wants you, or they want you because you're vibrating at a higher level. Like your frequency is different, and when you change your frequency, guys, you start to realize you attract everything that you want. It's not just it's crazy because it's like, say if you want something really bad, like you want something and you want it, but then when you start to really think about why you want it, that's like a deeper consciousness, right? Like I could be like, oh, I want a Lamborghini. Great, I want a Lamborghini. But why do I want a Lamborghini? When you start asking yourself questions like that, you're awoke. You're awakened. You're not normal. Most people just say, I want a Lamborghini. Okay, you want a Lamborghini, but why? What would you do with a Lamborghini, right? You drive it around. It's just like another car. It's just a bit faster, and when you're on that plane, when you're on that frequency, you start to realize you can manifest these things in real time, but it only happens if it's your destiny. It only happens if it's ordained for you. Because here's the thing, like, say if it's not your destiny, hypothetically, right? Speaking here, you're like, I want a Lamborghini, and then you get a Lamborghini, but you can't take care of a Lamborghini, and you can't, or maybe you can take care of the Lamborghini, but as soon as you get the Lamborghini, you have all this attention from people that you didn't have before, right? You have this attention that that you didn't have before, guys. Like you're gonna be in a situation that you weren't really ready for, right? That's why if it's your destiny to have a Lamborghini, you'll get the Lamborghini when it's your time to get the Lamborghini, right? It'll just be a thought in your brain, and you'll be like, okay, it's my time. You won't even say it's my time. Like you'll just go to the place where you buy a Lamborghini, and you'll just buy the Lamborghini because that's what was supposed to happen. Otherwise, you're never gonna get a Lamborghini. It's like it would mess you up. It would mess up your whole path. Like your path is not meant to be, rich like that. And you'll notice that when you're real silent and when you're really like at peace with yourself, and you're real quiet in the mind, that you'll know what's coming in a way. You'll know that you're going to get the Lamborghini somehow. You don't know how, but you know. somehow that it's destined. And it's a voice. It's a voice in your head, not like a crazy voice, like something like you're like losing your mind or something. Like it's like a voice that sounds real quiet, a real quiet, soft spoken, and it'll sound something like, "You're gonna get $1 million." It'll be like you're gonna get $1 million. It'll be real quiet, and you're like, you're thinking in your mind like, where did that come from? Like, what? You know, what? Hold on. I'm gonna get $1 million. Like, what? That doesn't make no sense. Like, where did that voice, like, you know, it came from the Most High, and you can't. You don't know when. You don't know why. You don't know. You can ask the Most High why. You know, why am I going to get this money, and when am I going to get this money? You can ask these questions, but sometimes it's just silent. Sometimes there's nothing. There's no more voice, and you have to just be this piece of a chessboard in a figurative way. You know, you're placed in a certain position that allows you to get these things, but you don't know when you're going to have them, which is a beauty in itself, because it's almost like if you knew when you were going to have it, you would have an anticipation of what would happen. You would be like, oh man, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And when you're retaining, you can feel it. You can feel it's going to happen. But you don't know when. You don't know why, usually. And it's going to be unexpected, almost. It just comes out of nowhere. And then you're let me give you a story, guys. Like, I wanted a car really bad before I cut it off here. I wanted a car really bad. I wanted a car. I didn't want a junky car. I didn't want a beat down, rusty piece of, I wanted something nice. And I remember I was leaving my house, right? I was moving out. And I prayed to God, and this is before I really believed in God like that, and I prayed to Him, and within about a week, I got a brand new car, pretty much, nice, and it just happened so quick. It happened so quick, and I got it, and I was driving it, and then I was like, I was walking before this. Now I'm able to go where I need to go and do what I need to do, and I enjoyed the car. But eventually, before I had departed from the car, I could feel that I had nowhere to go, So it was like, your time's up with this car. You're just driving around. You're wasting this not wasting it, but it's just your time is up with this object, this material object on this planet. So something will happen to where you don't have it anymore. And when that happens, because I couldn't upkeep the car, right? I couldn't upkeep it near the end of having the car.